Audio Jungle.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Echoes of Our Ancestors, where we explore the rich and vibrant world of Philippine culture and traditions. I am Clara Dulguime, one of your hosts for today's podcast. And I am here with me as well, my amazing co host and fellow culture enthusiast.
Hi everyone, I'm Siren Pancho, and before we delve into the podcast episode for today, I would like to say thank you to Miss Dulguime for inviting me as one of her co-hosts. Now, we're diving into something truly special, the oral lore of the Philippines. These are the stories, legends, and proverbs that had been passed down through generations. But they're more than just tales. They're the threads that weave our cultural identity together.
That's right, Mr. Pancho. But before we dive into these stories, let's talk first about what oral lore really is and why is it so important. So, joining us today to unpack this are our friends and fellow podcasters. Let's start with Miss Ego.
Thanks, Mr. Dulguime. Oral lore is essentially our ancestors' way of preserving history, values, and lessons. It includes everything from epic tales, like Hinilawod, to the simple yet profound proverbs or salawikain that our elders still recite today.
Speaking of epics, Mr. Layaog, you were telling me about Hinilawod earlier. Can you share a bit of information about that to our listeners?
Absolutely, Mr. Pancho. Hinilawod is an epic from the Visayas, telling the adventures of the demigod brothers Labaw Dunggod, Humadapnon, and Dumalakdap. These stories are not just about heroism, they reflect the values and beliefs of our ancestors, courage, loyalty, and a deep connection with nature.
Such powerful stories. And speaking of nature, Mr. Nueva, there's a legend you love that also highlights our relationship with the environment, right?
Yes, Miss Dulguime. The legend of Maria Makiling is one of my favorites. She is the guardian spirit of Mount Makiling, and her story is a reminder to respect and care for the environment. In the tales, those who harm the mountain suffer her wrath, while those who protect it are blessed.
It's truly amazing how these stories carry lessons that are still relevant today. Do you agree? Okay, Miss Villalan, I know you've been collecting some salawikain. Care to share a couple and what do they mean?
Sure thing, Mr. Pancho. One of my favorite is, ang hindi marunong lumingon sa pinanggalingan ay hindi makakarating sa paroroonan. It means that if you don't know how to look back at where you came from, you won't reach your destination. It's all about remembering our roots and the importance of gratitude and humility.
These proverbs are so rich in meaning. Miss Mabolok and Miss Piñas, you both have been working on ways to keep these stories and proverbs alive. What are your thoughts?
One way is through storytelling events, especially with the younger generation. We can organize sessions where elders share these tales, and we could even turn these stories into interactive workshops for kids.
Another idea is to adapt these stories into modern formats like short films, comics, or even social media content. We have been talking about creating a series of Instagram posts or TikToks featuring these stories with a modern twist to engage younger audiences.
Great ideas, Miss Mabolok and Miss Peñas. It's all about making these stories accessible and relatable in today's world. Promoting creativity is like planting seeds of ideas that blossom and spread, enriching minds and hearts with endless possibilities. As we carry the essence of our culture, let's continue to ensure the vibrance of oral lore and let our heritage live forever. Mr. Layaog, any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Just that these stories, whether they are about heroes, spirits, or simple life lessons, are part of what makes us who we are. By keeping them alive, we're not just preserving our culture, but we are celebrating it and ensuring it continues to inspire future generations.
Well said, Mr. Layaog. So that's all we have for today, Fox. Thanks for joining us in this journey into the heart of Philippine oral lore. Don't forget to share these stories with someone you know. Let's keep the echoes of our ancestors alive.
Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll explore more of our rich cultural heritage. Until then, mabuhay! And cheers to keeping the stories alive!